All right, so here we have cable crunches. So really good movement for your abs, really good movement for getting hitting your upper abs, and even into your, I guess, sort of middle abs of your midsection. So here I have my client Kevin, and he is doing just that. So a couple cues to think of. One, first of all, maybe put a cushion underneath your knees, like how he is, so that way your knees aren't screaming at you afterwards. The other thing you want to do is whichever attachment you're using on your cable machine, you want to keep it pulled into either the top or the back of your head. Even your forehead could work potentially. And then you want to think of trying to round as much as possible so your abs work to flex your spine. So the more flex your spine is, the shorter your abs get. The more extended or straight your spine gets, the more lengthened or stretched out your abs get. So in order to take them through their shortest range of motion and get the biggest contraction possible so you can feel your abs the most and probably work them the hardest, we want to think of trying to get into as much spinal flexion or as much of a rounded crunch position as possible. The way that we're going to do this is by keeping that attachment pulled into you, like I mentioned, and think of driving your forehead as close to your knees as possible or thighs. You might not be able to, most people aren't that flexible to get there, but that's sort of the intent that we want to do, is trying to curl up into a ball as much as we can, just like those times in middle school when the bullies used to make fun of us. Moment of silence. Anyways, we're going to try to get your elbows as far back as well too. Think of trying to pull your elbows as close to like sweeping the outside of your knees, and that should pretty much help you do it. The other thing to think of too is, if you notice, his butt is staying off of his heels. A lot of times when I'm first teaching people this in person, they tend to almost want to sit their butt toward onto their heels, and then they're not feeling anything, and it's like, yeah, no duh, because you're not able to really move your spine like that. But yeah, so we want to make sure the glutes stay free to be able to move. And then the other thing too is to pick an appropriate weight. So a lot of times when people do this, they undershoot the weight because they're like, oh, like 80 pounds, this is going to feel too heavy. For most people, even like some of the quote unquote seniors that I train, they might be starting out with like 70 or 80 pounds on there just for them to actually be able to feel it and to do it. Because you have to think you're using a lot of your body weight to pull down on this. So you're going to need a decent amount of weight to offset that for you to feel anything actually working through the abs. But that is pretty much going to be how a cable crunch is performed, at least the way that I tend to coach it. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment for more. Share this with your mom, dad, your dog, whoever.